Hello and welcome to the World Magic Cup Qualifier. This is round 2. On the left, you see Nolan. He is playing Black Devotion, kind of the classic style with Night Veil Spectre. On the right, Verner with what can only be called a brew here of black-red. What will you call it, Brian?
Well, he's basically your mono black devotion style deck, but he has a bunch of red in it. He's chosen it as his 5-drop of choice instead of like a Gray Merchant or an Obsidat or something. He's playing red, so he's got Stormbreath Dragons to close the game out faster.
So we're already on a very quick pace to turn 3, a turn 2 pack rat from Verner, a third land, and he could start making rats at any moment. Nolan takes the 1 damage, drops to 19, and we see a Bile Blight there. Maybe he didn't need to take the damage. Looked like he was thinking about it. End of turn. No, he took the damage. And we see Night Veil Spectre. Does that Night Veil Spectre have time to live?
Looks like
Nothing
he does.
Main phase. He does have options that might be sorcery speed. We see 2 damage from a Blood Crypt for Verner. And there's the Demon. And do we have any way to kill that Demon? I do think there's a downfall. And goodbye, Demon.
Yep.
In with the Night Veil Spectre.
This is a big hit in the mirror, too,
right? Rakdos returns. That was going to take some effort before that will be able to be cast. He's going to need to find a red source and have that Night Veil Spectre live long enough to find a red source. And we see another land, Temple. There we go. A lot of red in Adam's hand.
Scries to the bottom. It looks like he has a Rabble Master, a Chandra Pyromaster, a couple other spells I can't make out.
We see Chandra come on down. It's going to poke. 1 damage. Nolan down to 18 and a pass. Night Veil Spectre unopposed. Right now, I feel like it just wants to find land.
Hopefully a mountain. Well, there's no mountains in his deck, but
there's a swamp. And that's a nice swamp, too. Nolan looks at his hand. He's got Gray Merchant, Gray Merchant, Gray Merchant, Night Veil Spectre. Wow, that is a bunch of problems. Is that a Temple of Silence at the top? So his conundrum here is if he lays that swamp.
He's not going to have 5 for his... Yeah, he wanted 5 for his Gray Merchant.
There we go. And he does lay the swamp. Because the other conundrum is if he doesn't lay the swamp, then the Night Veil Spectre could die. Stormbreath Dragon in for 4. This is a really exciting list from Adam.
Now, what if that Stormbreath Dragon could deal 4 right now?
And
in the future.
Another attack.
Oh, there's that red source.
My God.
That is huge for Nolan.
Wow.
To be able to Rakdos return his opponent for 3 here. That's the whole hand.
That's the hand.
Yeah, last thing that Verner wanted to see come off the top of his deck.
And in case you're wondering how many mountains are on this list, there are 4 mountains. That's not very many. It can happen, though. And Mutavault and Stormbreath Dragon come on in, and another Mutavault off the top for Verner.
He must have drawn some removal spell, not attacking with both Mutavaults. Lauren, I think, has this game sealed up, though. He's got 3
Gray Merchants in hand.
3 Gray Merchants ready to go.
And
I guess he has an 8.
1 gray. I mean, this is going to be gray into gray into gray. We see that Temple we were talking about earlier finally being dropped into play. At 6 mana. Next turn, here comes a potential attack. If Verner comes in with everything, he can deal 6. That would mean he would lose a Mutavault, though. Rabble Master.
Interesting.
Rabble Master's going to get a little goblin. He can deal
Which will have to
5 if
attack.
he wants to throw away the Mutavault. He does not. He does 4 only.
Knocks Lauren to 6. I mean, he doesn't know how many Gray Merchants Lauren's holding back. Interesting, the Mutavault will pump up the Rabble Master if he attacks.
This is true. A pair of Mutavaults in with Gray Merchants.
Oh, I don't know about that attack.
Wow, that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, Well, he...
He has a Bile Blight.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we see a Swamp and a Temple held back. Here's a Drain for 4. Lauren Nolan jumps back up to 10 life. Adam Verner on the verge of death here.
Down to 1. Well, this is it for Adam. He's got to win here.
This is the all she wrote moment. You've got to do something. And what are you going to do?
Would Dreadbore do it?
If you're just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here in the booth with Brian Kowal. You see the Bile Blight taking out that Goblin Rabble Master, and right now, attack with everything will knock Lauren Nolan down to 2, but it will mean that Adam is certainly dead.
Does Rabble Master put you in situations where they have to kill the Rabble Master before you even enter combat, so it'll push you back into your main phase? Or is there like a beginning? I guess there's a beginning of combat step, so
yeah,
that wouldn't happen. Okay.
In with the dragon and the pass, and unfortunately for Adam Verner, there are no counterspells in his colors, and there is a Gray Merchant.
I mean, he's gonna play the Nightfell Spectre probably just to be sure. And
boom, boom. That is a lot of damage, and Adam Verner packs it up.
Drain for 9.
Now, the red cards, you might be wondering, what makes Adam's deck play the red? 4 Rabble Master, 3 Stormbreath Dragon, 1 Mizium Mortars, 3 Dreadbore, 2 Chandra Pyromaster, and a Rakdos Return. Now,
2 Rakdos Returns.
2 Rakdos Returns, thank you. Now, that Rakdos Return ended up being absolutely devastating to Adam Verner himself because of Nightveil Spectre. Earlier today, you mentioned how people have forgotten that Nightveil Spectre exists. Lauren Nolan is not one of those people. He's gone back to it.
Right, and you can see what a great choice it is in these Battle Black mirrors. Unfortunately, it ended up hitting himself.
Yeah, the thing with the Nightveil Spectre, when it came to Nightveil Spectre versus Lifebane Zombie, I think, really emerged because even though you wouldn't necessarily think it, Lifebane Zombie was a stronger card when you were playing against blue-white decks. They couldn't last breath it, the clock was a little bit quicker, and the card advantage that you might get from a Nightveil Spectre, it was relevant, but not as relevant as just turning off a turn or 2 worth of damage, you know? And in addition to that, there certainly were plenty of cards that the Lifebane Zombie could hit against certain opponents. That wasn't, to be overlooked. But Nightveil Spectre, what a monster when you're dealing in these mid-rangey mirrors, when you can cast nearly everything. Okay. Pastimes.net. If you are in the area of Chicago, there are weekly store events. You can see right there the whole week. Monday is League Play. Tuesday, Modern and Conspiracy or Casual Draft. Wednesday, Commander and Competitive Standard. Thursday, Booster Draft. Friday, as always, Friday Night Magic and the Standard and Draft at Pastimes. Check out the website for weekend events. That's pastimes.net.
Adam looks a little pre-boarded for the Mono Black Mirror, I'd say. I don't see a lot that he brings in here. Probably the Erebos and the Duresses.
Now,
and maybe slaughter games. I mean, I guess you could slaughter games like the Gray Merchants, and then he doesn't have a lot of games. He's stuck in a Desecration Demon or no, right?
I mean, I like Erebos, certainly. And other than that, like you said, he's got those Rakdos Returns and such already in his main deck. Duress is not unreasonable against Underworld Connections and such, but it's not great either. But on the other side of the table, Underworld Connections number 4 gets to come on in. Dark Betrayal, a card that we've seen a little less of, is also on the sideboard. And Erebos exists as well. Erebos a little less important for Lauren Nolan because he's not stopping a Gray Merchant from gaining life.
Yeah. Those Dark Betrayals are nearly useless against Adam, though, because he's replaced all of his normal heavy hitters with red creatures.
Well, he still does have Packrat and Demon, though. So, I mean...
Yeah, I guess he still has Demon.
And, one of the things that Packrat can just get out of hand real quick. Now, in the background, you can see Trey Van Cleve, who is playing Blue Devotion, and Nathan Jones, who appears to be playing a green-black deck, a Court of Calling Eidolon of Blossoms deck. And our players are about to begin game 2.
Great. Both players checking their hands for mulligans. It looks like Lauren is going to be going down to 6 right away. Adam has kept his hand.
It's even less likely that it's going to get played in the future match. It's usually the better players, though. So it's not even like playing games at random. Unless something comes out in the future set that makes, the guy versus Sand Warriors relevant. Unlikely. I'll agree with that.
Now, one of the things I think I would be worried about if I were Adam here is you're playing against kind of a traditional black devotion deck, and the ways that you're different, they might be good. However, you're not so different that you're going to be completely blindsiding your opponent. And Lauren Nolan, an experienced player playing a very powerful archetype, Lauren is probably one of the best players in the room, so I feel like Adam being down a game probably might have even more pressure on him than otherwise.
Yeah, Adam's deck seems a little schizophrenic to me. I always think of Mono Black to be more of a controlling deck, and he has aggressive cards like the Rabble Master and the Stormbreath Dragon. I'm not exactly sure what the Rabble Masters are doing for him in the matchup. Those might have come out, but I don't know what he has to bring in to replace it.
So here we see the first real action of the game on turn 4, an Erebos, God of the Dead. And this is actually a very devastating card in this matchup, just because, one, it can become alive and then attack at some point in the game. And then, 2, one of the other elements of it, stopping Gray Merchant from gaining life, really makes cards like Underworld Connections way more frightening. Now, you might think that what you're seeing here is Adam Verner playing a Jund list. That Temple of Malady, though, is just a 5th temple for him, and it's an off-color temple. We see Nightvale Spectre make an appearance, and the Urborg that was just dropped by Adam Verner, he held off on that for a second, and it meant that Lauren Nolan could not cast his Nightvale Spectre until turn 4. Now we see Lifebane Zombie from Adam Verner showing Bile Blight, Hero's Downfall, Gray Merchant, and Thoughtseize.
One interesting thing is Adam Verner has no access to Bile Blight, and Packrat being one of the better cards in the mirror from what I've or used to be before Bile Blight came along. It becomes like an all-star again for Lauren.
Mizia Mortars wraps up that Nightvale Spectre. Now the Urborg's in play, though. This does mean Lauren now has access to 4 black mana, despite that Mutavault. There's a Connections.
Yep.
Immediately draws a card, looking for a land, really.
Yeah, he's stuck on 4 right now.
There it is. And shoots off the Thoughtseize. Dreadbore, Ultimate Price, Desecration Demon.
Probably take the Demon here.
Yeah, the Demon can cause some real damage, both in the fact that Erebos has a devotion need.
Right.
And
he's got needs.
Goodbye, Demon.
And also just one of the better cards in the matchup.
Yeah. It won't take very much to have Erebos become a creature. Draws a card. Rabble Master.
Yep.
So now we were talking about that schizophrenia to the deck. Here we see an attack for 4. Erebos, let's pretend that had been a Nightvale Spectre for that same amount of mana. Erebos would be attacking.
Right. Yeah, it would turn out Erebos. The Erebos is a lot rougher with 2 colors. I agree. I think his Adam's more aggressive stance. He's gonna put his opponent on the clock, but that seems to just play into Lauren's version of Mono Black, because he's the actual Mono Black devotion deck with Gray Merchants, which feels like a pretty natural answer.
I feel like in this game, though, Lauren is in horrible trouble.
Yeah, this isn't looking good for Lauren. But I think overall the matchup is probably in his favor.
I agree with you as well. We see it's going to be a Bile Blight followed by probably a Hero's Downfall. Takes out the Rabble Master. Attack.
Swings in the mute. The Goblin didn't even have to attack anymore.
And the downfall in Lauren Nolan's hand is one choice. The other choice is activating a Mutavault to stop the Goblin, but put it at risk. He goes with the safe play of just killing something rather than putting his Mutavault at risk.
I think Lauren killed the Rabble Master hoping he wouldn't swing the Goblin into his Mutavault.
And we see a draw here from Adam Verner.
Like, okay, I'll give you the choice.
And the draw right off the top, another Lifebane zombie, and we've got Gray Swamp. Yep. Now remember, Gray Merchant is not going to be doing anything other than doming Adam Verner. Erebos will not allow you to gain life, your opponent to gain life. Oh, Demon.
And that's a pretty important effect for Adam to have right now, especially for his deck to have in this matchup.
You can see Lauren Nolan here. His life total is just kind of... It's under some duress, but that was actually an incredible draw here for him, that Pack Rat. So his hand now, Pack Rat, Desecration Demon, Gray Merchant, Swamp. Mm-hmm. And it's an incredible draw in part because what this means is he can actually start playing the Pack Rat plan.
Right. And, like, the Gray Merchants are fairly useless without the life gain effect. You should definitely play this land so you can activate Mutavault.
Now, with 3 mana, he can activate the Rat. As you say, that 4th mana means that the Mutavault can provide a little extra touch of insurance. It'll be tapped should he create a Rat and activate the Mutavault, but that's still a Rat, so that would be 3/3 Pack Rats are a possibility now.
Right.
Dreadbore, and we're going to see a fake Rat. Goodbye, Demon. Hello, fake Rat. Dreadbore. Oof, in for 4.
That's a lot of removal.
Lauren Nolan drops to 6. And we see a Duress, Gray Merchant in hand.
Go ahead.
His life total is rapidly just diminishing. Duress, what you got? Ultimate price goes away. Rabble Master in hand.
Definitely the best stop there.
He's going to be able to attack for 5 next turn,
Yeah.
but Mutavault will be able to block.
Gray Merchant, I think he just casts it to chop Adam on the head for 4 and to provide himself a big wall.
Yep.
And Adam actually now down to 10 after activating that Erebos. Remember, if that Gray Merchant survives, the second Gray Merchant is going to hit for 6.
Yeah, Adam has to be a little careful here. He just drew a Chandra Pyromancer, though, which is...
Oh, boy. And another ultimate price. And that's going to be it, I think.
It'll knock him to 1. Right?
Yeah, it'll knock him to 1. I'm just trying to think what Lauren Nolan does to get out of this. I think he would need to cast...
Damnation. He could draw
Drown
Damnation.
in Sorrow. Okay, to game 3. He does have access to Drown in Sorrow in his sideboard, and that would be a very reasonable card to bring in against Rabble Masters.
It's not the most intuitive card to bring in a mono black control matchup, but those are the advantages that Adam's version of the deck gives him, though. It causes his opponent to have to possibly miss sideboard against him, and
it's hard to bring in Drown in Sorrow versus Desecration Demon and Stormbreath Dragon.
It is, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you get a stretching effect on your opponent's sideboard cards when you have your threats diversified to his sideboard answers, and you get to the point where things you just don't want to take out anymore.
Now, Adam Verner has just a ton of powerful removal. Dreadbore times 3, Hero's Downfall times 3, Ultimate Price times 2. That is a lot of removal that is basically unconditional in this matchup. Nightveil Spectre can't be taken down by the Ultimate Price, but that's the only card that the Ultimate Price is going to miss.
Yeah, 7 spot or 9 spot removal
Yeah, the
For
Mizium
almost-
Mortars as the 9th.
for almost any creature in his opponent's deck. The Mizium Mortars can't kill his demons.
Yeah.
Do you bring in Slaughter Games in this matchup?
You know, honestly, not having played this Storm Breath Dragon Goblin Rabble Master Desecration Demon deck, I'm not sure. I mean, your targets that seem worthwhile are. I don't think I do. I mean, because Grey Merchant obviously is a good card, but like Erebos, we saw take care of that. A Rakdos Returns can stop that kind of effect from being used because it can take it out of your hand. Because usually you hold on to the Grey Merchants. I'm not sure. My rough instinct is no, but that's conjecture, I guess.
Yeah, man, I'm starting to rethink this brew. It might be better in the mirror than I think.
Now, if you are just joining us, we are about to go to Game 3 between Black Devotion, played by Lauren Nolan, and what I'll call Black-Red Midrange, played by Adam Verner. Now, Team USA, the World Magic Cup qualifiers. You can see Owen Turtenwald, our current team captain, and the most recent winner, Isaac Sears. He went out there on the West Coast. Who will be joining him? Someone today? Will it be Lauren Nolan? Will it be Adam Verner? I don't know.
We'll see. So we're here today to find out.
September 13th in, I want to say, in Philadelphia, the next World Magic Cup qualifier will be held, and that will round out our team going to France to fight for the honor of the United States. Our players are ready. Lauren Nolan starts it out, and that's a Temple, I believe.
Both
Yes.
kept 7.
We see a hand there that includes several land, a Bile Blight, and I believe an Erebos. Temple on the other side. Turn 2, go. And Duress, what do you have? Erebos, Bile Blight, Hero's Downfall, Bile Blight, Swamp, and Mutavault. That's a swamp, not a mountain.
All these removal spells and 1 threat.
An untouchable threat from that Duress.
It's not a creature, right?
Erebos, I expect, is going to be pretty devastating unless he can be removed by that Thoughtseize. It's just such a powerful card in these matchups. A little less powerful on Lauren's side of the board because there are no Grey Merchants from Adam Verner. Verner. But it's still good nonetheless.
And Lauren just had a really big draw step.
Wow. If Adam doesn't kill this immediately, that's going to be very bad. There's a Swamp. There's another Duress. And there's a Hero's Downfall.
So he has to just Hero's Downfall here. Cannot cast the Duress.
And a Underworld Connections drawn by Lauren Nolan as well.
Top of the deck being very nice to Lauren, as it should be after you get Duress. That's what happens to my opponents get Duress.
If you fetch a land, your next draw is always a land. If you get Duress, the next draw is always the good one. Underworld Connections on the land.
The Murphy's Law of Magic. You have to respect it.
And Erebos in Adam Verner's hand. I see a Duress. I see an Erebos. There we go. Erebos. Lauren Nolan goes to 19.
That Singleton Erebos really showing up for Adam.
Lots of lands in Lauren Nolan's hand.
So Adam looks like he's trying to sculpt a pack rat into play. He knows his opponent has a Hero's Downfall and a Bile Blight. He has a Duress for the Bile Blight. So he has to Duress it and then also have the 5 mana in order to dodge the Hero's Downfall. But I think that's his plan right here.
Yeah. There is one way Lauren Nolan's Erebos in his deck is just better than Adam Verner's. and that is that he has underworld connections in his deck, and just more black creatures. Goodbye, Bile Blight.
Yeah, almost any creature out of Lauren's deck is going to turn on that Erebos and make it able to attack.
We see a Rabble Master and an immediate attack with that Goblin. 18 now, and then 17. Lauren down to 17 life. And Thoughtseize has been drawn. And it looks like another Nightveil Spectre. Swamp, Nightveil Spectre, Thoughtseize, and Hero's Downfall. The hand is Pack Rat and Mountain.
He was already to get that Pack Rat started. I'm kind of surprised he didn't play it last turn.
4 mana available here. Even if he lays the land, not enough to both Nightveil and Hero's Downfall. I kind of like just making sure that that Rabble Master dies. I think we're going to see a Spectre, though. There it is, Spectre. And attack. The god awakens.
Yep.
Once Erebos is in play, this is one of those situations where every Thoughtseize, every Erebos activation, they all become a real tightrope walk. You want the resources, but you can't recover from the choice.
Yeah, it's kind of throwback to like Suicide Necro. Yeah. No discs to save either player.
And draw with the Erebos. Is that land spell? Temple. Leaves it there.
I can't tell what the spell is.
It might just be land. I think there's a spell there, though. Is that a Lifebane zombie?
Yeah. I think it's Lifebane zombie.
All the goblins come on in. Rabble Master triggers. Mutavaults. Trades with the Rabble. And 1 damage is dealt by one of the goblins. The other goblin killed by a Nightveil Spectre. And a pass.
All right, Lauren untaps, draws. Still has the Hero's Downfall.
Wow.
In backup.
If this, and he draws again, if this Nightveil Spectre connects.
And second Hero's Downfall.
Wow.
It's not looking good for Adam Verner at this point.
In they come. That's a lot of damage. Is it hitting? It hits. Oh, my God. And we have a trigger. Dreadbore. Not yet. It'll take a little bit of work to get that Dreadbore to happen.
Right.
There's a land. Adam Verner down to 6. And a pass from Lauren Nolan. He can only cast 1 Hero's Downfall. Adam draws a card. Goes to 4. It looks like a whole lot of nothing in his hand. There's a Rakdos Returns isn't going to do it. He'll die to the table. Lifebane Zombie, it's not going to do it either. The Hero's Downfall will mean he dies. What else is in there?
That card he drew earlier, I still can't quite make it out.
What he needs to do is make Erebos not walk among men. He lays a land, returns for 2. That's your hand.
Kill that goblin.
Goodbye, goblin. And then he's got Lifebane Zombie to follow up as a blocker on the Erebos. Okay, he can survive this turn, assuming nothing goes wrong. That's going to be a rough call, though, if Underworld Connections and Erebos have anything to say about it.
Yeah, Lauren.
And is that a Devour?
Yeah, Devour Flesh.
Okay. That's not enough life. There's no life because of Erebos. That's it. They're all done.
Pulls off the win and move on to 2-0 in the WMCQ.
Now, Lauren Nolan did have, I believe, 1 bye coming into this event. And this was his first round with it. We see in the background, Trey Van Cleve and Nathan Jones are still underway, it appears. There you see our second camera. Trey Van Cleve is playing Blue Devotion. Nathan Jones, a Court of Calling Eidolon deck, Eidolon of Blossoms.
Yeah, pretty interesting list. He has
Yeah.
a lot of one-ofs here.
It's a green devotion shell with black in it for Vraska, for Liliana Ves, and for numerous little targets like Shadowborn Demon, Farika, God of the Afflicted, Jared, Golgari, Lich Lord.
Nilia's Disciple, Shadowborn Demon, Arbor Colossus, Hornet Queen, and the one Genesis Hydra.
If you're just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Brian Kowal. This is round 2 of the World Magic Cup qualifiers here in Indianapolis, Indiana.
What? They both 1-0 going
Now, both of these players, I think, playing decks that have already existed in some form, but still kind of have a little bit of a surprise in some ways. I feel like Jace the Living Guild Pact in Trey Van Cleave's Blue Devotion deck, that's a surprise card. I don't think I've actually seen that played yet. And the Farika style of black-green Court of Calling decks have existed. We see cards like Liliana Ves and Garrick Caller of Beasts, making this almost a green devotion graveyard crossbreed, but not quite.
Yeah, I think it's interesting he went the direction of like 3 Court of Callings, only 1 Genesis Hydra in this version. They don't. It doesn't look like he has a ton of cards that tap for a mana that wouldn't already normally, to go kiddo deeper, and like his deck just makes a ton of mana anyway. It looks like where he could Hydra up something, but I guess Cord can't be taken by Lifewing Zombie, so maybe he was thinking about that. Maybe tutoring for the exact right answer is where he really wants to be, too.
This is game 3. And we see Nathan Jones starting out. Temple. Since they're in their sideboard,
Yep.
I kind of wonder if we're going to see Domestication from Trey Van Cleave. I could also see Polymorphist's Jest. Trey opens up with a Cloudfin Raptor on turn 1.
I wonder if we're going to see a Court of Calling for Doomwake Giant.
I also see Nathan Jones' sideboard has Citizen Tactics. Citizen Tactics, one of the very cards that has been responsible for Blue Devotion having things to worry about from green decks. And there's a Voyaging Satyr.
Let's see if Trey has the Tidebender Mage to deal with Voyaging Satyr. Looks like he doesn't. Do you think he went a counterspell route for the further games in this matchup?
It depends on how many Planeswalkers and Chords he saw. If he saw a ton of Planeswalkers, I could see him being drawn into that.
Kind of feels like he wants to be he's definitely still a beatdown, the beatdown deck in the matchup.
There's another mana source, Elvish Mystic. You can see Nylea, God of the Hunt, in Nathan Jones' hand. Is that a Citizen Tactics as well? Burning Tree Emissary into anything? Into pass. Okay.
Yeah, missing that third land. It seems rough for this deck.
Third mana from Trey Van Cleave. Hall of Triumph. Attack for 1. This is not a great start for Trey.
Pretty lackluster.
And we're going to see 4 mana now available because of that Elvish Mystic. So it's probably going to be another one of the Burning Tree Emissaries into a 4-drop.
Yeah, it looks like he has the Eidolon
of Blossoms.
of the Blossoms.
Attack for 2. Eidolon of Blossom. There's the Burning Tree Emissary into Eidolon of Blossoms. Draw a card. It's another Eidolon of Blossoms. That's going to be his turn. And you can start to see just the problem that Trey Van Cleave is going to be facing here. 5 creatures.
Nathan's deck not really working, but working.
If Trey doesn't get rid of one of the mana sources this turn, And Nathan Jones, well, basically, if Nathan Jones has 4 mana, that second Eidolon of Blossoms is going to cause such a huge problem that I don't think Trey's going to be able to recover without a lot of luck.
Nathan's like, on one hand, I'm a green devotion deck. On the other hand, sometimes it doesn't quite work, and I just get a horde of grizzly bears. Sorry about a blue deck. They're stupid.
Trey Van Cleve in the tank right now, a Hall of Triumph and a Cloudfin Raptor. The Cloudfin Raptor currently a 1-2 because of that Hall. It has yet to get bigger on its own power. Trey thinking, 3 mana. I have to imagine that what he's going through is, what is his best option amongst bad options? There's the 4th mana there. Is he going to lay a Bident? Is that what he's thinking about doing?
Hey, might be the best option. He has to put something together.
Okay, Master. The Master is going to trigger his Cloudfin Raptor.
Twice, right?
Yep. And he's going to get a couple of little dudes.
Yeah, he has them.
Make sure to take a look at that schedule.
There's the couple. In the air, coming on in for 3.
It's going to drop Nathan to 14.
Go ahead.
And Nathan now is going to have that opportunity to do something absurd. The card that Trey Van Cleve really does not want to see right now is Nykthos. He's lucky there is no Nykthos here with that draw. Now, if you are Nathan Jones, do you cast your Eidolon of Blossoms or do you cast your Pelucranos?
I think you cast Eidolon of Blossoms because you just really want to get to Nykthos, right? Like, Nykthos seems lights out in this situation. It
does mean you get 2 extra cards.
Yeah. Trey's not going to get a ton of damage in with his Master Waves on him. He has some boys he can trade off, you know.
Nathan Jones trying to figure out which path to take. He's got Nylea as well.
He could play Nylea.
Nylea gives everybody trample but him. We've got 4 mana. All these choices. I definitely like Eidolon of Blossoms here.
Yeah, I think you just want to trust the velocity of your deck and like to keep just power through. Your cards are made to be drawn.
He's thinking about Citizen Tactics as well.
Citizen Tactics normally would be really awesome here, but Trey's still going to keep his elemental tokens thanks to the Hall of Triumph. So I don't think it's the play.
I think he keeps going between all kinds of cards.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's really on the fence here.
Pelucranos.
He goes with a 5/5.
And this means right now, Trey Van Cleve has, I think, successfully grabbed, if he has any kind of like tempo-based cards, whether it's Cyclonic Rift, anything like that, I think he has successfully grabbed that kind of tempo space of having the clock and having untapped mana. So let's see what happens next. It looks like Trey Van Cleve has drawn his own Nykthos.
Yeah, I noted that. Look at his head. Like, well, someone has a Nykthos. Fortune's not the one who plays 4 of them and gets to do obscene things.
He lays the Nykthos, spends it for colorless, 4 mana here. Bident. In the air for a total of 3. Nathan takes it. Trey gets his free card.
I don't really get the Pelucranos play. Like, what does it do for a next turn?
If he draws a Nykthos, he can turn the Pelucranos into death for some creatures. There are 2 rapid hybridizations in Trey Van Cleve's deck. 1 Cyclonic Rift, 1 Polymorphous Jest, and those are his tricky cards. And now Nathan has even more options than before. Does he want to consider activating Pelucranos? Tactics is going to mean that his Pelucranos and a friend can do some hitting. A rapid hybridization here would be devastating, but it looks like he might be island.
Tide Hollow Mage? Is that what the last card in his hand is? Nathan's just going for the kill, it looks like.
Oh my god. That is a pro-red creature, my friend.
Whoops.
He was thinking that Burning Tree Emissary was going to be able to hit that Master of Waves. That is a pro-red guy. So Pelucranos fights.
Oh, that's bad news.
Kills
for
the Cloudfin
Nathan.
Raptor. And the Burning Tree Emissary can hit somebody, but he certainly can't hit Master.
He could just trade with one of the tokens. I don't know if that's worthwhile to do.
Well, it clears up the table.
Simplify.
A little less for us to think about.
And then he gets to play his elf.
Okay, so now he has access to 5 mana next turn.
Man, I just still think I'd play that Eidolon, though.
Yeah, if he had played
Draw
the,
2.
if he'd played the Eidolon, he would have drawn the elf and who knows what else last turn, and then the card underneath it as well for this turn. Now, fortunately for Nathan, Trey Van Cleve's hand is chock full of land. Tide Hollow.
Bender.
There he comes in. Tidebinder Mage comes down and is going to knock down one of Nathan Jones' creatures for pretty much a good long time. We see the activation now of Nykthos.
To get 3 blue mana?
1, 2,
No,
3, 4,
5.
5
He's got
mana.
the Biden.
Another Master. Oh boy.
This one's going to be for a few more tokens, though.
Now remember, these Masters have Hall of Triumph pumping them up, so Pelucranos will be able to answer them, but it's going to be a little more effort to do so. Here's an attack for 1, 2, 3, 4 damage with this token. Nathan Jones' life total, not the highest.
Yeah, he's going to have to come up with something big next turn.
And there's a chump block, just preserving the life total. Untap. And remember, that card held down by the Tidebinder Mage.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I think
big
our play
draw.
was, I think that makes our play a lot better.
Oh, he drops that one into play real quick. The devotion count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 devotion. So a grand total of 7 mana can be created by that Nykthos. There's 7. Now remember, 8, 9 right there with the 2 elves. And that is going to be X of 4 for the poly. All of it being pumped into that. All 9 mana into the Pelucranos. Boom, boom.
I still think I'd draw 2 cards. I think Trey thinks his tokens are dying.
Okay, let's make sure that those tokens don't die.
So bring him on back. All right.
Let's get some reality going. There we go. It does make the tokens a little bit smaller. But remember, Hall of Triumph still is on the table. I think Nathan thought the tokens were all going away.
Yeah, I think they both did. Wait a minute.
And remember now, There's a Bident in play.
Yeah, this turns to be huge.
Oh, domestication. Wow.
We're at 11.
If only didn't lock down that Voyaging Satyr.
Okay, a domestication on either of the untapped creatures. I think he's just won the game. Take that, little guy. Rawr. A tapped out opponent, and that's it.
That's going to finish off.